Listening and hearing may seem like the same thing, but there are actually important differences between the two. Hearing is a passive process, where sound waves enter our ears and are processed by our brain. It happens automatically and doesn't require much effort on our part. On the other hand, listening is an active process that involves paying attention to and interpreting the sounds we hear. To help us understand the different aspects of listening, there is a model called HURIER. This model breaks down the listening process into 5 stages: hearing, understanding, remembering, interpreting, and evaluating. Let's take a closer look at each stage. The first stage is hearing, which we already discussed. It's the basic act of perceiving sound through our ears. But just because we hear something doesn't mean we understand it. That's where the second stage, understanding, comes in. When we listen, we try to make sense of what we're hearing by processing the information and assigning meaning to it. After understanding comes remembering. It's easy to forget what we've heard, especially if we're not actively engaged in the listening process. Remembering involves storing the information in our memory so that we can recall it later. This is an important stage because if we can't remember what was said, then the process of listening becomes ineffective. Once we've understood and remembered what was said, the next stage is interpreting. Interpreting involves making sense of the information in the context of our own experiences, knowledge, and beliefs. This stage allows us to connect what we're hearing to our own understanding of the world. Lastly, we come to the evaluating stage. This is where we critically analyze and assess the information we've heard. We consider the credibility, relevance, and validity of the message. This stage is crucial for making informed decisions based on what we've heard. Now that we understand the HURIER model, let's explore the taxonomy of listening. The taxonomy categorizes listening into different types based on the purpose or goal of the listening activity. Discriminative listening is the foundational level of listening. It involves distinguishing between different sounds or voices. For example, when we hear our name being called in a crowded room, we are using discriminative listening. Comprehensive listening goes beyond just hearing the words. It focuses on understanding the message as a whole. This type of listening is often used in educational settings, where students need to comprehend lectures or instructions. Therapeutic listening is a type of listening that focuses on providing emotional support and empathy to someone who is sharing their feelings or experiences. This type of listening is often used by counselors or therapists. Critical listening involves analyzing the information being presented and evaluating its validity and reliability. It requires the listener to think critically and question the message. Appreciative listening is when we listen for enjoyment or pleasure. It's the type of listening we do when we're listening to music, for example. We're not focused on understanding or analyzing, we're simply enjoying the experience. Now let's explore different listening styles. People-oriented listening is when we are primarily focused on the feelings and emotions of the speaker. We're more interested in building relationships and connecting with the speaker on an emotional level. Action-oriented listening, on the other hand, is focused on getting things done. We're more interested in the practical aspects of the message and how we can take action based on it. Content-oriented listening is all about the information. We're focused on the facts, details, and accuracy of the message. This type of listening is often used in academic or professional settings. Time-oriented listening is when we prioritize efficiency and getting to the point. We're not interested in long explanations or detailed stories. We just want the speaker to get to the main idea quickly. Lastly, let's discuss the different types of listening responses. Silent listening is simply staying quiet and attentive while the speaker is talking. It shows respect and allows the speaker to express themselves. Questioning involves asking the speaker for clarification or more information. It helps to ensure that we have understood the message correctly. Paraphrasing is when we rephrase or summarize what the speaker has said to show that we have understood it. It also helps to clarify any misunderstandings. Empathizing is when we try to understand and share the feelings of the speaker. It shows empathy and support. Supporting involves showing encouragement and positive reinforcement to the speaker. It can be as simple as saying, "That's a great idea," or "You're doing a fantastic job." Analyzing is when we critically examine the information and break it down to understand its components and implications. Evaluating involves assessing the information for validity, credibility, and relevance. Finally, advising is when we offer suggestions, advice, or solutions to the speaker based on what we have heard. In conclusion, listening and hearing may seem similar, but they are actually different processes.